Good afternoon, everybody. We will just give few more minutes before we start the session, yeah?
Halo, selamat siang. Ya.
Okay, I think we shall start then. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you guys are doing great. Thank you for waiting for a few minutes to allow agents to join the room. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. Can I get like maybe a thumbs up or number one in the chat box to make sure that you guys can see my screen, can hear me loud and clear? Can I get some thumbs up, number one? Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, Marlene, Francisca, Tina, and all you guys. Thank you so much. So without further ado, let's start because this session won't take too long, right? It won't take too long. So I don't want to keep you guys waiting too long as well. So in between, before I start, let me introduce myself. My name is Kuga. Your trainer today. So with me, I have the brains behind all this data science, right? We have Shanice, JP, Kemi, Nanan, Randy, and a few others will be joining us the session as well. So in between, if you have any questions or you have any comments, please do put in our chat box, because our team will be able to help you to answer. Otherwise, we will just look at any Q&As in the end of the session, right? So what we have done is, let me just give you a brief through of what or how are we conducting this training, right? So we have a new set of awesome data that we are providing for our agents. And so we have this data. Next thing is what can I do with this data, right? So what I have done is I have come up with 2 sessions. One is how can you convince your buyer? And another one is tomorrow, how can you convince your seller? So I just want to go and overall showing like how to use the product and things like that. I just want to make sure that, for you to focus on a particular insights or data with regards of particular client. So that's what we're going to do. So as I've mentioned, we are going to look at buyers today. So if you're interested to know more about sellers, you can register yourself for tomorrow's session as well at the same time. So as an agent, right, you guys are very much experienced. I have no doubt in that. There are so many questions are running in your mind. So one of the questions is like, hey, is my property price, within the market, within the market range, right? The property that they want to buy. And how's the rental trend? If I'm looking to rent it and things like that, what's the rental trend? Or can I afford it in the first place? What are the nearby amenities? Because, my wife is due in another few months. I want to make sure that, I don't have to shift house in another next 3-4 years to make sure that there's school surrounding, which property actually suitable for me. So there's so many questions that running in a person's mind, right? A buyer's mind. So you as an awesome agent, you can help them to kind of minimize these questions by answering them, right? So I want to introduce you, presenting to you 4 editions on insights under AgentNet, right? Which is the Market Insider, Project Insights, Home Report, and Explorer. So just a brief through. Explorer is pretty new, right? It just came in, I think, if I'm not mistaken, a week plus and so. So why I'm saying this is just that to show you that our Property Guru team, our data science team are constantly making sure that they provide as much as they can, right? They want to make sure that they give all the insights, relevant insights for our agent. So as you know, I will dwell more. I will be showing a live demo. So this is just like how an overview looks like, right? So for Market Insider, it gives you the latest property and pricing trend. And then PI, Project Insights, scanning for your opportunities and so on. We will dive in more as we go on the live demo shortly. Before we go to the live demo and so on, I do want to share that currently, all agent partners have a complimentary access, which ends 30th September, which is next week, is it? Right. But after that, as of 1st of October, it will changes in depending on your package entitlement. So which are the, if let's say you have the standard package or add-on package, premium package and so on, it will be on this. So only difference is the Explorer, much of on the Explorer. As you can see, add-on package will not get the benefit from Explorer. But if you're premium and business, you get the real-time Explorer data as well. Now, this is something new that I want to share with you. So like I was saying, right, our team, they're constantly pushing for new things and making sure that they want to share, a lot of insights, a lot of data if possible, right? So for this session, so what we're trying to do is trying to cover as much or share as much of insights. We call it bite-sized insights, right? So to share with our agents, like, hey, this week we're going to share this, next week we're going to share that, and so on. So before I dwell to the live demo, I just want to share some insights. So this time for this training, right, the insight is about comparing condominium apartments with, against executive EC and HDB flats. So which property type generates better rental yield? This is insight which might be useful for you. In between, if you want to take screenshots, please go for it, right? Just download the screenshots. Otherwise, I will be uploading this recording in the YouTube and then link to our Academy website. So you can watch it anytime. And also, if I'm not mistaken, you should be getting the recording tomorrow with the password and so on. So you can watch it again and again, or download and put in your PC and so on. So there's 3-segment comparison condominium, right, including apartments. Then we have the EC, which is the executive condominium HDB. So they come up with the formula, right? Like our maths, we have formula and so on. So we have like the monthly rental, right? And then times by 12, and then divide by the sales price and times by 100%. So that's how they come up with this analysis, right? And this period is between January to September. So you can see. So from the insights, right, the summary of the insights, right, that our team came up with, apparently HDB flats consistently achieve significantly higher quarterly rental compared to condos and ECs. So in a summary, HDB flats, they have more rental. Now across all the district, right, HDB flats achieve the highest rental yield as well, right? And then number 3 is also achieve highest rental yield for all categories of all size unit. Even the size unit difference, right? Apparently they're top. So this is the insights that we like to share. And then historically, rental yield for condos against ECs versus HDB flats for the last 5 years. You can see here. The first one, let me just open this laser point, right? So you can see the green ones are the HDB, and then this is the executive condo, and the red one is condo. Okay, so HDB rental yield consistently higher. There's a big gap actually between the condos and the ECs. So this is across 24 districts in Singapore. In 2021, HDB flats achieved highest rental yield across all 24 districts, right? More than double that the condo in 12 districts. So you can see an average rental yield between 1.85 for 1.4. Okay, it's color coded nicely in here as well. Yeah, I'm just going to leave for a few seconds in case quickly you want to take a screenshot. Awesome. And then this is rental yield across the unit size. There's difference, the unit size difference. So excluded 1 bedroom and so on. So in 2021, this year, right, like I say, from January to September, HDB flats achieved the highest rental yield in all categories in unit size. Okay, it could be a smaller unit, it could be a larger unit. They have actually won, right? So the difference is especially evident that units with smaller units compared to the larger units, you can see here. Okay, all the square feet, right? Now, next. This chart number 4 is rental yield versus sale price for HDB flats by district, right? So how is the rental yield for HDB flats? So here we observe that HDB flats in district with higher sale prices suffered lower rental yield, right? So if it's higher, it doesn't have, how do I say, much or higher rental. I would assume, in my assumption as a mature, right? I would say, yeah, obviously if you're going to buy like a very expensive or very classy HDB, right, usually it's for your own stay and so on as well. And then you would rather just stay, and then if the people, the property seekers who really want to rent, you could probably get a smaller one because it's not really going to stay in for another next 20 years or so on, right? So that makes a bit sense for me. And then finally, why is the rental yield for HDB flats are more attractive than other properties? The most likely reason is that HDB flats are generally cheaper, right, compared to condos and executive condos. So since rental prices for units are similar, sizes are unlikely drastically vary, the much lower sale price of HDB flats would be higher yield. So similar to what I said, I know. So basically it makes more sense. So again, they have a nice formula here. Okay, you can take a screenshot if you like to as well. Okay, so let's move on to live demo. For this, let me quickly jump into my AgentNet, right? Okay. Just give me 2 seconds here. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to start off with home report. Let me make it slightly bigger so it looks clearer for you. Let me just make it a little bigger as well. Okay, so home report, right? It gives you the most detailed data. So you get well-rounded, holistic understanding of the property. So you get information about the unit and then compare with other units in same state or condo, or even other condominiums and so on. So let's assume a buyer, right? Interested in particular project, and let's say I'm looking at Bedok Court. So you just need to do a search, and then precisely I want to narrow down to block 297, and then floor, let's say 10, and then stack number 5. Okay, and then I click apply filters. And it will generate for me. Before that, you guys must make sure which property that you're looking at. Is it a condo, is it a landed or HDB and so on, right? So make sure you choose the correct property. So in the event if you want to do a new search, make sure you reset your filters and then you choose the new filter and then apply filter. So for here, right, for instance, we have Bedok Court, right? So here, you can advise buyers the potential price of the particular unit. So for instance, right, the estimation price here would be about 1.9 million, right? So you can explain the gain in here, right? The gain in here, because the person who owns the property bought this probably in 1997. So it's been a huge gap, right? They've been living here for almost 20 plus years and so on. So hence the estimation gain for the seller. So now, there's a lot of things might occur, whether this is the right price and things which we'll dive in shortly. So, but when you need to consider is within the market value and worth it, for that, right, you scroll down the transaction, the same property within the Bedok Court itself. So I'll be showing you all this, but let me just quickly scroll down here. So as you can see, right, transaction transaction in the same Bedok Court here. So you can see as of 19 August, which is last month, this block and the floor stack, the floor area is about 2.5 million, right? 2.5 million. And then here's about 26 July, so and so, about 2 million and so on, right? So you can see, hey, you know what, if that's the case, right, I assume that, this is definitely a good, how do I say, a benchmark. So you can tell your buyer, hey, you know what, I think it's definitely, what's the market current value right now? Looking at the price and then looking at the past transactions, this is what has been happening. So I really think it's time for you to might want to consider, right? So make sure, just a FYI purpose, right? So make sure that when you see the previous transaction, focus on the floor area. So sometimes the floor area might be smaller or bigger, then if you tend to like, how come this is cheaper? How come that's small, right? So make sure you, when you're looking at this, make sure you focus on almost a similar area size. So here we can see the price is almost similar. So estimated gain above. It is safe to say that the estimated price definitely within the market value. So again, if I scroll down a bit, right? So next thing they'll ask, hey, you know what, Kuga, how the rental trend the last 1 year or so and so. So you obviously you can narrow down here. I'm just going to maintain at 1 year. So you can advise the buyer, hey, if you're looking to return of ROI, right? Then we as if I'm looking at the graph today, right? I can see the short trend of it's increasing since January 2021. So definitely, I would feel that it is safe, if you're looking to rent it out and things. The trend is increasing, right? It's been stable since I would say until now. So it's definitely I would say a positive graph that I'm looking at. And then the next thing, the most, thing that usually all the buyers like to know is the location. All right. So amenities. So you can cajole the buyers by showing these amazing amenities within the 5 kilometer range. So narrow down, show them how many public transports are there. There's 100 schools, right? So before you show this, right, try to understand your buyer a bit. Is he a married person, or is he just want to get for investment? So you can show, hey, you know what, there's so many transport, if you want to rent out, expats will like this because it's so easy for them to commute. Or you're married, 2 kids, your children are starting school soon, so this might be something you really want to look at and show to cajole them, like wow them, right? So you can have the list in here. Okay. And then if looking at home report, again, so next thing they ask, okay, Kuga, you know what? Looks like it's the market price, looks like the rental is good. The amenities looks like wow, quite nice. But hey, can I what they call afford it or not? Is this something I can afford it or not? So we have this mortgage calculator here. So how does this mortgage calculator helps, right? So basically when you craft all this nice story and then, you focus on, can I afford it kind of question, right? So quickly you can tell, okay, this is the loan amount, okay, and for your age, you can take for 25 years. I think the interest rate is now about 1, right? So to be safe, we put about 1.5. Okay, let's say 1.5 for instance, or 1. Okay, you guys would know the better rate compared to me. So it'll calculate. And give you your monthly repayment. Okay, so now the buyer, right, will have an overview. Okay, if I'm going to buy this, looks like this is what is happening, whether I can afford it or not, and so on. So you can definitely look at it. So if then you can say, hey, looks like the rental price per month, right, it's about 4,000. Yeah, about 4,000 price. So let's say I'm renting out for 3,008 or something like that. I still definitely can afford to pay, right? So if we cannot and things, then let's just move on to the next project. Okay, so at least we don't have to waste your time or the seller's, the buyer's time and so on. So again, like I say, there's a lot of things in the home report, right? Do take your time, go into your agent net, especially now, the free trials ends next week. So make sure you make use of it, right? So, and then you have like, you want to compare median PSF comparison, bed of court against another similar, condo and so on. Always, you can narrow down to other project or same town, same district, so and so. You can select a particular project also if you want to. Let's say they have like 2 projects in mind, right? So whether the Better Court or Simsville, I just want to quickly do a comparison on the PSF trend, and then you can see. So you can advise. Simsville seems to be a bit more slightly expensive compared to the Better Court, and so and so. Right? Now, oops, sorry. So you have the what we call it home report in here. So what I've been showing you, let me just recap, is home report. Let me quickly run through you. You're able to see like similar projects to Better Court, right? You're able to edit it. You can see, the navy blue is about Aquarius the Park, Better Court, the clean water and so. So you're able to see the median PSF or list of the similar project. You can do your own narrow down and so on. So whenever you see this little cute little graph going on, right? If you put your cursor on the particular dot, you will get more information on it. For example, like I'm moving my cursor here, right? So you get more information on it. So don't just blindly look through it, try to get more information on it as well. So let me just run through up again. So oops. Make sure if you want to do a new search, always reset your filters and then apply a new project and then apply filters. Okay, shall we move on then? So what I want to show next, that would be the buyer, right, is your Explorer. So like I said, Explorer is pretty new. Okay, it's newly launched tool. So Explorer helps to create how do I say, quick and easy comparison, right? Especially when you're in a meeting, you just want to do a quick comparison. You can download in PDF, pretty awesome, right? So let me show you. So here you have the date. You can change your date if you want to. And then you can create new segment. Okay, let's say a project. So you have like all HDB, condo, and so on. So let's say condo, and I'm typing, let's say Keppel Bay, get results. You can be more specific, right, if you want to, but I didn't. You can be more specific if you want to put like transacted price range and so on and so forth. And then let's say I'm going to choose another one. Reflections at Keppel Bay. Right? So you can make up to 3 maximum segments, right? So here, once I have this, if I scroll down a bit, right? So it'll show me, indicate me where is it in the map. And then let me scroll a bit. Let me make it slightly smaller so that you have like an overall look, right? So you can see compare and contrast where you can download it. So it gives you the median transacted PSF, right? So this is for Caribbean and Keppel Bay. Property number 1 and 2 is easier for me to tell that. So you can say, oh, this is 1,005 and this is 1,006. The number of transaction is about 245,384 within this price, the date range, right, that I chose. And then the last 3 months, number of active listing in Property Guru, and then the transaction value, median transaction value. So you can quickly download this, compare and contrast and show to your property seekers, the buyers, and so on. And then here, if you click a transaction, so you're able to see analysis trend, right, for the number of total number of transactions, or median transacted PSF, right? So you have this happening here. And then also what's cool, right? So for example, here, let me make it slightly bigger so it's clearer. Okay, so you have the details to the transaction. So here for the property number 1, reflections at Keppel Bay, right? This is the contract date as of 7th September, I think just a few weeks ago. And then, the area square feet, and you can move this, and then you're able to see so you can kind of like take your insights from the home report, and then you can use this Explorer to support as well. Right, so you can do a side-by-side comparison. It's pretty awesome too, right? Because when you download it, it comes with a nice table and then this nice graph, so you can kind of like wow your property seekers. Okay, let me close this. So again, let me just show. In future, we'll have like draw and map, which is pretty awesome, which the teams are working on, where you can just draw on the map. You can make a circle and you can choose. Or you can just narrow down by location if you want to. Let's say Bukit Timah, get result, and then you want to look at another location, let's say Bukit Panjang, and then you can do the similar. It's loading. Right? So you're able to see the map here. And you have the same. Okay. So let's move on to another awesome data, which is the project insight. Okay, again, Sorry, excuse me. I lost my mouse, right? So here, right, I'm just going to picture like slightly different view kind of thing. So here, I have a buyer, who really who wants to buy something in Bedok residence, right? But there are many existing listing the condo. So my buyer wants me to advertise in a condo A, for example, right? As an agent, I will go and check project insights for condo A, and then use the estimated gain tool. If it looks like most units I can use this to even convince the seller, right? Not even buyer. So I can use this project insights, right, to quickly find my way out. And assuming that I'm an agent on the buyer side, I can help to arrange the viewings, right? Try to convince the client, to see. So let me just show a quick example here. So for example here, condo, I'm still going to look at, let's say, Bedok Court again. Okay. And let's say block number, just randomly click on block 7. And you want to look at, let's say, the last 1 year, maybe, right? You don't want to go way back, or, you don't go. And then let's say I look at estimated gain. Or you can look at the transaction price. Okay, so before I show another, what we call that, another sample, right? I just want to show you how you can make use of this. I want to show you something much more where you have the green and the red and things like that. So here, right, with the project insights, it gives you a brief, like a summary of particular project that you chose. So it says, hey, you have 4 blocks, 280 units, blah, 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 just like a quick summary. And they have about 86 units having estimated gain of 60%. And also what you can show to your buyer, like, hey, it looks like the rental demand, sale demand is pretty high. In the event if you're looking to resell in a few years, or just to rent it out, the rental demand is definitely good, right? So what you can do is, for example, you can look at this. Okay. Let me just quickly choose another better example for you. Okay, let's say residence. Slowly. Let's say last 3 years. Okay. I just want to show you how the color looks like. Okay. So I just chose all yes because I want to show you guys how it looks like when you see the game and so on. So here, right, whenever you click, so here you have the block number, the period, and so on. So let's say I'm looking at this particular unit, right? So I can control click it. And then let's say I can choose more than one by control clicking more than one, right? So I can do like a quick comparison. So my PC is a bit slow. Right, so here you're able to see, right, okay, this is about 592 square feet. The last transaction date was 2011, and then this was the last transaction price, and currently the estimated price is so and so. And then if the seller decides to sell, he can probably get this much. So I can use this, right, to help my buyer. Let's say I'm on buyer side today, right? So I can use this to help my buyer. So saying that, hey, you know what? I try to convince, if you sell today, right, you're getting at least about 6.8%. I have a seller, sorry, I have a buyer who's interested in your particular unit and so on. Do you want to consider selling it and things like that, right? So I know if, let's say, the seller is asking about 2 million, for example, right? But actually I did my homework, and then I think the current market price for the unit is about only 1.8. So we can also negotiate using this, right? We already know what's the estimated price and so on. So we can use this to negotiate as well. Let me just click a negative estimation loss. Okay, so I just want to show you how it looks like. So it shows a negative here. Okay, so you have that as well. Now, so what I've showed you, I focus on home report, right? So much more, how do I say, directly to the particular unit. And then slowly, I know I move on to Explorer, to make a comparison if I have 2 or 3 in my mind. And then slowly I come to Project Insights, much more macro. And then finally, I have Market Insider as well. For Market Insider, I won't dwell too much, but it's much more a macro look. So you're able to see what we have done here today, right? We have started small and then slowly we gradually kind of cover it macro from micro, right? So here, right, I just want to briefly show you through like how can you make use of this, right? So again, it's pretty awesome. We have nice map here. You can choose your condominium, the type sale, your how do I say, the duration, and then of course don't forget to choose your I would say the area square feet, right, which is pretty important. And then the darker it goes, it means the more transaction happen within the particular period and so on. So you can show this to your buyer. Hey, looks like a lot of people buying, it's definitely a hot cake, time for you to consider. And then you can narrow down further by sharing all this. But these are much more to impress the seller, which I'll be speaking about this tomorrow. But in case some of you can't make it, right? So I just want to show you how it looks like and so on. So you're able to see the median PSF comparison, actual transacted against asking and so on, right? And you have awesome data as 30 days, right? 30 days latest transaction and so forth. So you have this as well to help you to convince. So data, right, it's amazing, it's amazing because you get to see whether, you get to use 2 ways, is how you're actually sharing with them, right? You can use to convince your buyers, you can use to convince the sellers, or both of them. So you have this amazing data. So again, let me just what they call share with you insights. Under your insights tab, you have your Market Insider, Project Insights, Home Report Explorer. Take your time and play with it, right? We came to the end of the session. Is there any question at all? Okay, I think there's few questions. In between, I've launched a poll. Just bear with me, guys. Question 6 to, let me see, yeah. Question 6 onwards, or question 7 onwards, right? Remember the bite size that I showed you in the beginning of the session, HDB against the executive condo and so on. So it'll be definitely useful if you guys can share to my team, because they want to know that, this is definitely useful for them, or, we should come up with more. So please help us to answer this. In meantime, let me just look at the chat box. Haven't looked. I think our okay, Shanice, I think you replied. Did you reply to them or?
Hi. So there was a question from Andy View about like if HDB rental yield is higher, what can we advise buyers? Since HDB is not typically meant for rental. So we have given the response in the chat, but maybe I can just sort of like iterate some of the things. So for instance, so from HDB's perspective, ideally you shouldn't be thinking about it in terms of renting, but we can't deny the fact that this is a consideration for some of the buyers. So if the buyer is thinking of eventually renting out his or her flat after the MOP period, at least using our insights, we can sort of show that typically HDB rental yield is quite good. And also the buyer may want to avoid HDB flats that are too expensive, because that also impacts rental yield. And if there are people who want to, say, own 2 properties and rent one of them out at a later stage, in that case, in terms of purely rental yield, it's still better to rent out the HDB flats instead of, say, a private property. And the other thing is, we've also sort of established that in terms of rental yield, the order is like HDB is best, followed by EC and then condo. So if, let's say, the buyer is interested in having facilities, so rather than going for condos, maybe at least ECs are a little bit better from a pure rental yield sort of perspective.
Okay. Thanks, Shanice. And I think there's another question from Brian. Some of the units transaction got no data. Any reasons why?
I think maybe Brian needs to let us know which dashboard he is looking at.
Okay, Brian, if you have any screenshot, I'll be sharing our customer service link, email address and so on. So quickly you take a screenshot and let us know. Our team can get back to you, right?
Okay, but generally, whatever data we have is also based on caveated transactions. So it is possible, for instance, if the buyer chooses not to caveat the transaction, then we may not have data to report for that specific unit.
Okay, understood. Is there any questions that I missed out?
So I think Shirley also raised another question on how to check past transactions for the same unit. For that one, it would be best to go into home report. So after you key in the full address, there is usually a section that will tell you what are the past transactions that happened for that unit. And then there's also another table below that tells you what are recent transactions for that project.
Okay. Shanice, you might just want to take note of this Elvis Park condo, I think block 102, and maybe we can have a look at the end of the session. We take it offline.
Okay.
All right. So guys, like I said earlier in the beginning of the session that I will be uploading the recording. If you need to rewatch again or share with your other agents, please feel free to do so. How long more are we allowed to use this free report? Brian, I'm not sure what package are you on. Let me just reshare the package, right? So basically, if you're Advanced Premier Business, as of 30th September, it's free, right? 30th September is free. So for effective for 1st of October, depending on your package, only let's say, assuming you're Premier, right? The much different is that whether you get a real-time data or non-real-time. So real-time data is like as update as within 7 days, and non-real-time is within 6 weeks. So if let's say you're at one package, you will get non-real-time data, but excluding the Explorer part, right? So you just kind of miss out very little, to be honest, right? So you have other awesome insights available as well. Okay, let me just share this again, the last one, right? Do take a screenshot, guys. If you need to, get in touch with us. And then, like I say, for next trainings or next recording, you can look at Academy website. And then if you need to look at help articles, you're able to look at the help articles. I think, Shanice, do you want to take the last question from Brian? No, wait, can you allow additional months for free? This is something out of my hand. I think there's a lot of communications has been out, Brian. I think since few months now, right, Shanice? Yeah, I think it's been out and about. A lot of announcement news, SMS has been out about this. I'm just a trainer, so it's really out of my hand to promise you anything, but I can just tell to my management, this is something Brian want to have a look. Right, so guys, thank you so much. If you're interested for tomorrow's training, do sign up, and hopefully we'll be able to speak more tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.